Hey everyone, and welcome back to the show.
Hello, hello. We are so happy you're here today, ready to learn with us.
Alice, today we're diving into the world of art. Our passage is about a famous artist named Georgia O'Keeffe.
Georgia O'Keeffe. Just from the name, I'm already thinking about American art, maybe some big, colorful paintings. Will it be about nature or maybe city life? I feel like I've heard of her flowers.
Excellent guesses. You're already doing some great prediction. It could talk about her life story, or perhaps how she became famous, maybe even some of the places that inspired her art.
I love that. Let's find out which parts of her story we'll explore today.
Here's our plan for today. In Part 1, I'll read a passage about Georgia O'Keeffe. In Part 2, we'll go over our 8 essential reading skills. Then, in Part 3, we'll have a quick review. And finally, in Part 4, we'll put those skills to the test with some practice questions.
Sounds like a masterpiece of an episode. Let's get started.
Let's. Okay, welcome to Part 1. This is our reading passage about Georgia O'Keeffe.
Get comfortable, relax, and just listen. Remember, you don't need to understand every single word.
I will read each paragraph slowly. After each one, Alice will explain the main idea in simple English around a B1 or B2 level.
Think of it like a story being told, with helpful notes along the way. Ready? Let's read.
For 7 decades, Georgia O'Keeffe, 1887 to 1986, was a major figure in American art. She remained independent from shifting art trends, finding abstract forms in nature. Her keen observation attracted a wide audience.
Okay, so Georgia O'Keeffe was a very important American artist for 70 years. She didn't follow popular art styles. She painted in her own unique way, focusing on simple, abstract shapes from nature. Many people loved her art because she noticed small details.
2 words here. Independent means she did her own thing. She didn't copy others. And abstract means her art didn't always show things exactly as they look, but often used shapes and colors to express ideas or feelings.
Independent, abstract. Say it with me. Independent, abstract.
Born in 1887, O'Keeffe was raised on a farm. After high school, she decided to become an artist, studying traditional painting. From 1911 to 1918, she worked as an art teacher.
This paragraph tells us about her early life. She grew up on a farm. After finishing high school, she knew she wanted to be an artist and studied painting. For about 7 years, she was an art teacher.
Decided to become an artist means she made a strong choice about her future job.
So paragraph A introduced Georgia O'Keeffe. Paragraph B told us about her early life and teaching career. Moving on.
O'Keeffe began experimenting with abstract charcoal drawings. A friend showed them to photographer Alfred Stieglitz in 1916, who was impressed and exhibited her work. With Stieglitz's encouragement, O'Keeffe moved to New York in 1918. Stieglitz promoted her work for 3 decades, and they married in 1924. Their relationship was recorded in his many portraits of O'Keeffe.
This part is about how she became known. She started making new kinds of drawings with charcoal. A friend showed these to a famous photographer, Alfred Stieglitz. He really liked her art and showed it in his gallery. With his help, she moved to New York and her career started. They also got married, and he took many photos of her.
Experimenting means trying new things. Exhibited means he showed her art in a public place, like a gallery. Promoted means he helped her art become famous and well-known.
Quick question for you. Who helped O'Keeffe become famous in New York? It was Alfred Stieglitz. If you got that right, you're doing great.
By the mid-1920s, O'Keeffe was a recognized artist, known for her architectural pictures of New York skyscrapers. She also often painted magnified images of flowers, making tiny details abstract. This established her as an innovative modernist.
So by the middle of the 1920s, she was famous. She painted very tall buildings in New York called skyscrapers, but she also painted a lot of flowers, making them look very big, magnified. This made small parts of the flower look like abstract shapes. This unique style made her known as a modern and original artist.
Skyscrapers are those extremely tall buildings in big cities. Magnified means made to look much bigger than they are.
You know, I always associate her with those big flower paintings. It's interesting how she was known for both flowers and skyscrapers. It shows she had many interests.
Indeed, let's continue her journey. In 1929, O'Keeffe first visited New Mexico, which greatly impacted her work. She made almost annual trips, moving there permanently in 1949. New Mexico inspired her, first with sun-bleached bones, then with the spectacular landscape and vivid colors, capturing her imagination for over 40 years.
In 1929, she took her first trip to New Mexico. This trip changed her art a lot. It had a big impact. She loved it so much that she visited almost every year and finally moved there for good in 1949. In New Mexico, she found new ideas. She started by painting old animal bones that had been left in the sun. Later, the beautiful mountains and deserts with their bright colors inspired her for more than 40 years.
Impacted means had a strong effect or influence on something. Landscape refers to the natural scenery of an area, like mountains, deserts, and rivers.
So we've covered her early life, her start in New York, and now her big move to New Mexico and her new inspirations there.
O'Keeffe owned 2 homes in New Mexico. Her winter residence in Abiquiu had a patio with a black door that was particularly inspirational. She transformed this patio into abstract geometric shapes in over 30 pictures.
She had 2 houses in New Mexico. One of them, in a town called Abiquiu, had a special patio with a black door. This door and patio gave her many ideas. It was inspirational. She painted it over 30 times, changing it into abstract shapes.
Inspirational means it gave her a lot of creative ideas.
From the 1950s to 1970s, O'Keeffe traveled widely. Flying inspired her last 2 major series, aerial views of rivers and expansive sky paintings. She increased her canvas sizes, sometimes to mural proportions.
Later in her life, from the 1950s to the 1970s, she traveled a lot, flying to different places. Looking down from the plane gave her ideas for her last big art projects. She painted rivers and skies from above, aerial views. Her paintings became very big, sometimes like murals on a wall.
Aerial views are pictures or views from high above, like from an airplane. Expansive means very wide or large.
The last 2 decades of her life were unproductive due to ill health and blindness. O'Keeffe died in 1986 at age 98. Her rich legacy of some 900 paintings continues to inspire artists.
Towards the end of her life, for about 20 years, she couldn't paint much because she was sick and couldn't see well. She died very old, at 98, but she left behind many paintings, about 900, and they still inspire new artists and art lovers today. That's her legacy.
Unproductive means she didn't create much art. Blindness means she couldn't see. Legacy is what a person leaves behind that continues to influence others after they are gone.
Okay, that is the full passage, 8 paragraphs. Let's quickly remember the structure, in case your mind wandered anywhere along the way.
Paragraph A, her unique style. Paragraph B, her early life and teaching. Paragraph C, how Stieglitz helped her start. Paragraph D, her famous New York paintings and flowers. Paragraph E, her move to New Mexico and new inspirations. Paragraph F, her Abiquiu home and patio. Paragraph G, her later travels and aerial views. Paragraph H, her later life and lasting impact.
So, that was our reading passage. A lot of information about a fascinating artist.
If you didn't catch everything, that's perfectly fine. We're getting the big picture. The goal is never to understand every single word, but to grasp the main ideas and where to find details.
Her unique vision, her start in New York, her love for New Mexico, and her lasting legacy. If you remembered those key points, you've done great.
And now, we are going to learn the 8 skills that help you read any passage like this faster and more confidently. Let's go to part 2.
Welcome to part 2. This is the main part of today's episode, the 8 reading skills.
8 skills you can use in your next IELTS exam or even in everyday English reading. Are you ready?
Let's begin with skill 1.
Okay, skill number 1, David.
Skill number 1, David.
Skim the whole passage first before you read carefully.
Skim? You mean read it fast?
Yes, very fast. Don't stop for difficult words. Just get the general idea of each paragraph.
So for our Georgia O'Keeffe passage, what's the general idea?
Paragraph A introduces her unique style. Paragraph B gives her early life. C, how she began with Stieglitz. D, her New York fame. E, her move to New Mexico. F, her homes there. G, her later travels. And H, her later life and legacy.
Oh, so it's basically a timeline of her life and art. That's the same shape we just reviewed a moment ago.
Exactly. And once you know that shape, finding answers becomes much faster.
Why does that help so much?
Because if a question asks about her time in New Mexico, you already know. That's probably in paragraphs E, F, or G. You don't need to search the whole text.
That makes a lot of sense. I always used to read the whole thing first. No more.
Here is a tip. When you skim, only read the first sentence of each paragraph. That sentence usually tells you what the paragraph is about.
Say this with me. Skim first.
Skill number 2. Always read the questions first before you scan for answers.
Wait, isn't that obvious?
You'd think so, but many students start reading the passage in detail before they even know what they're looking for.
Ah, so they waste time reading things they don't need.
Exactly. If the question asks about her charcoal drawings, you already know which words to look for.
So the question guides the reading, not the other way around.
Perfectly said. The question is your map. Read the map before you start walking.
The question is your map. Say it with me. The question is your map. Okay, skill 3.
Scan for keywords. Don't read every word. Let your eyes jump to the important ones.
What counts as a keyword?
Names, numbers, dates, and unusual words. For example, in our passage, Georgia O'Keeffe, Stieglitz, New Mexico, 1916, 1986, skyscrapers, charcoal.
So if a question asks about a specific year, I just scan for numbers?
Exactly. Your eyes move down the page quickly, like a camera, looking for the important things.
Like a camera. My eyes are a camera. I love that.
Numbers and dates are always easy to spot. If a question mentions 1924, your eyes will find it very quickly.
You know, talking about Georgia O'Keeffe's long life and travels, did you know she lived to be 98 years old? She saw so many changes in the world and in art, from horse-drawn carriages to airplanes.
98! That's incredible! Imagine all the history she lived through and painted.
A true testament to her independent spirit. Okay. Back to skills.
Skill 4 is a really useful one. Watch for paraphrasing.
What do you mean by paraphrasing?
The question will almost never use the exact same words as the passage. It will use synonyms instead.
Can you give me an example from our O'Keeffe passage?
Sure. The passage says O'Keeffe remained independent from shifting art trends. A question might say, she was not influenced by changing fashions in art.
Oh. Independent from becomes not influenced by, and shifting art trends becomes changing fashions in art.
Exactly. Same meaning, different words.
That sounds hard.
It gets easier with practice, honestly. The skill is simply don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Say that again, David. I want to remember it.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning. Say it with me. Skill 5.
Find the topic sentence. Usually, the first sentence of a paragraph tells you what the whole paragraph is about.
So in paragraph E, the first sentence says, in 1929, O'Keeffe first visited New Mexico, which greatly impacted her work.
Right. So immediately you know, this paragraph is about her first trip to New Mexico and its effect on her art.
So I don't need to read the whole paragraph carefully unless the question is about New Mexico.
Exactly right. The topic sentence is like a sign on a door. It tells you what is inside before you open the door.
Let's practice. Listen to this first sentence. What is the paragraph about?
The last 2 decades of her life were unproductive due to ill health and blindness.
The paragraph is about her later life, her health problems, and how she couldn't paint much. That is paragraph H. Did you get it right?
Skill 6 is the one that trips learners up the most, but it's really just a small logic puzzle. True, false, not given questions.
Oh no, I always get confused with not given.
Everyone does it first. Here is the key difference. True means the passage says the same thing as the statement. False means the passage says the opposite. Not given means the passage simply does not mention it at all.
So, not given does not mean false. It just means the passage is silent. No information.
Exactly. The passage is silent. Say it with me. The passage is silent. And here's a little trick this question type likes to play. Sometimes the statement says all or always, but the passage only talks about some. That's usually a false. The statement went too far.
Ooh, so watch out for words like all, every, always, never. Good tip.
Okay, let me test you. Here is a statement. O'Keeffe always painted flowers.
The passage says she often painted botanical subjects, but it also mentions skyscrapers and bones. Often is not always. So that statement is false because it's too strong.
Correct. Now try this one. O'Keeffe enjoyed painting portraits of people.
The passage talks about her landscapes, flowers, skyscrapers, bones, even her patio, but it doesn't mention her painting people. Alfred Stieglitz painted her in portraits, but not the other way around. So the answer is not given. The passage is silent about her painting portraits.
Perfect. You just used skill 6 correctly.
Skill 7?
Manage your time. If one question is taking too long, skip it and come back later.
But isn't it bad to leave a question unanswered?
It's worse to spend 5 minutes on one hard question and lose time for 5 easy ones.
Oh, so one hard question can cost you many easy points.
Exactly. Always guess something, mark it, and move on. You can come back at the end if you have time.
A good rule of thumb, roughly 1.5 minutes per question. If you're still stuck after that, move on and come back later.
And our last skill, skill 8, guess unknown words from context. You will never know every word, and that is completely normal.
Oh, that is so good to hear.
For example, imagine you don't know the word finesse in paragraph A, but the sentence talks about her keen powers of observation and how she recorded subtle nuances. It's talking about her skill with a paintbrush.
So I can guess, finesse must mean skill or talent. I don't need the exact definition. I just need enough to understand that she was very good at painting.
Exactly. Context is the words around the unknown word. Use those words as clues.
Say this with me. Use context clues.
And that is skill 8, and all 8 skills done.
Wow, 8 skills. That was a lot, but I feel much more confident now.
You should. These are real practical skills that every good IELTS reader uses.
And the important thing is, these skills work together. Skim, read the questions, scan for keywords, watch for paraphrasing, topic sentence, true, false, not given, time management, context clues. They are a team.
All 8 working together. Let's go review them quickly.
Before we move on to part 3, David, where can students practice these reading logic skills?
Definitely check out IELTSlogic.com. It offers full reading passage breakdowns, listening practice, and speaking logic chain training.
That's awesome. Built by system architects to sharpen your analytical thinking. Visit IELTSlogic.com today.
Welcome to part 3. Quick review, no pressure, just a fun recap. I'm going to quiz you, Alice. Ready?
Ready. I will remember all 8. Watch me.
Okay, Alice, I'm going to quiz you. Skill 1. What do we do first when we get a passage?
Read every single word very carefully from beginning to end?
Haha, no, that's the opposite. Skim first. Get the big picture.
Right. Skim first. I knew that. Okay, my turn. Skill 2, read the questions before you scan.
Correct. And skill 3?
Scan for keywords, not full sentences, like names, dates, numbers.
Excellent. What about skill 4, that tricky one?
Skill 4, that's watching for paraphrasing. Don't look for the same words, look for the same meaning.
Perfect. And skill 5?
Find the topic sentence in each paragraph. It's like a sign on a door.
Exactly. Now, skill 6, the true-false not given one. What does not given really mean?
It means the passage is silent, no information at all, not that it's false.
Absolutely right. Skill 7.
Manage your time. Don't get stuck on one question.
And finally, skill 8.
Guess unknown words from context. Use the words around them as clues. 8 skills. I think I got them all this time.
Well, almost. You nearly said read every word at the start.
That one doesn't count. I was warming up.
Now, if you feel like it, try saying all 8 out loud yourself. No pressure. Even remembering 4 or 5 is great.
However you did, that is genuine progress. 8 skills reviewed, quickly and clearly.
Remember, you don't need to memorize the names. You need to do them. Skills are actions, not words. Alice, a quick reminder for our listeners before we head into part 4.
Yes, for complete reading sentence analysis, synonym replacements, and solution pathways, head over to IELTSlogic.com.
It's designed by IELTS experts to help you build clear logic. Check out IELTSlogic.com and boost your score. Now, the most important part, putting the skills into action. Let's go to part 4.
Welcome to part 4. Practice time. We are going to use our passage about Georgia O'Keeffe, remembering her unique style, her New York fame, and her love for New Mexico. And I will ask you some exam-style questions. Try to answer before we give you the answer, if you can. Say it out loud if you like. No pressure, though. Just listening carefully works too.
After each question, we pause. Then we go back to the passage, look at the exact line, and explain the answer.
First, a completion question. Complete the notes below, choosing one word only from the passage for the answer. O'Keeffe studied art, then worked as a 1 in various places in the USA.
Let's look back at paragraph B. The passage says, from 1911 to 1918, she worked as an art teacher. The question is asking for her job, so the word is teacher.
The answer is teacher. Now a true, false, not given question. Statement. When O'Keeffe finished high school, she had already made her mind up about the career that she wanted.
Let's go back to paragraph B. It states, by the time she graduated from high school in 1905, she had determined to make her way as an artist. Determined to make her way means she had made her mind up. So the statement agrees with the information. The answer is true.
Next statement. Georgia O'Keeffe's style was greatly influenced by the changing fashions in art over the 7 decades of her career.
For this one, let's look at paragraph A. It says, remarkably, she remained independent from shifting art trends, and her work stayed true to her own vision. Independent from shifting art trends means she was not influenced by changing fashions. The statement says she was greatly influenced, which is the opposite. So the answer is false.
One more true, false, not given question. Statement. O'Keeffe's paintings of the patio of her house in Abiquiu were among the artist's favorite works.
Let's check paragraph F. It says, one feature of the Abiquiu house, the large walled patio with its black door, was particularly inspirational. In more than 30 pictures, she reinvented the patio into an abstract arrangement of geometric shapes. The passage tells us it was inspirational and she painted it many times, but it never says it was among her favorite works. We don't have that information, so the answer is not given.
I got all 4 right just by listening and remembering where to look.
That is the skill working already. And notice, for each one, we didn't just spot the trap, we went back to the exact line that proves the answer. That's the habit worth building.
It actually feels manageable now. When I know the skills, the questions are not so scary.
That is exactly the goal. You don't need to understand every word. You need the right strategy and the habit of checking back against the text.
And now you have 8 strategies. You are ready.
So that is it for today. 8 reading skills and a fascinating journey through the life and art of Georgia O'Keeffe.
Let's say all 8 one more time, fast. Skim. Questions first. Keywords. Paraphrasing. Topic sentence. True, false, not given. Time management. Context clues.
8 skills. Beautiful.
Before we go, say this with me. I have the right strategy.
I have the right strategy.
I have the right strategy.
Say it one more time if you like, because it's true.
Oh, before we go, one last fun fact about Georgia O'Keeffe. Did you know that when she painted her huge 6-meter-long cloud canvas, she was almost 80 years old? Imagine painting something that big at that age.
What an incredible artist. Take that little fact with you. Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.